Okay, so let's talk about how modern cybersecurity is evolving. It's really moving beyond a simple game of offense versus defense. We're going to dive into a pretty big shift, away from teams working in silos and toward a much smarter, more integrated way of thinking about security.
So, for the longest time, security has been split between two main camps. On one side, you've got the red team. Their job is to act like the bad guys, think like them, and find all the weaknesses. Then on the other side, you have the blue team. They're the ones building the walls, watching the gates, and responding when something bad happens. Both are absolutely essential, but here's the catch. They often work completely separately from each other.
And right there, that's the problem. When these two super important teams are operating in their own little bubbles, it creates this massive gap. It's kind of like a broken game that, even with everyone trying their best, leaves organizations wide open to the same old attacks again and again.
I mean, think about it like this. Imagine a football team where the offense only practices on one field and the defense only practices on another. They never share notes, they never run plays against each other, and the first time they see how they match up is on actual game day. It sounds crazy, right? They'd have absolutely no chance to learn from each other.
Well, that is exactly what happens in cybersecurity. This separation just leads to this endless cycle of one-sided reports and totally fragmented learning. The red team finds a hole, sends a report, and the blue team patches it. But the real lesson, the why and how, often gets lost in translation. And the result? Defenses that aren't nearly as efficient as they could be, and weaknesses that just keep popping up.
So this is where a completely new approach comes into the picture. And it's really important to get this part right. This is not about creating yet another team with another manager. It's about building a new function, a new collaborative way of working.
You can think of the purple team as the connective tissue, the bridge between offense and defense. It's a framework that basically forces these two sides to work together, side by side. It turns every single attack simulation into a structured learning session, creating this incredibly powerful and continuous feedback loop.
And this quote really nails the core idea. It's a huge cultural shift. Instead of this adversarial relationship where the red team wins if they get past the blue team's defenses, it becomes a true partnership. The goal isn't pointing fingers, it's about getting better together based on cold, hard evidence from these exercises.
Okay, so what does this actually look like in practice? How does it work on a Tuesday afternoon? It's not just about getting everyone into the same meeting. It's about a structured process, and that process is built on a few really key pillars.
First and foremost, and this is probably the most crucial piece of the puzzle, both teams have to be speaking the same language. If the red team describes an attack technique one way and the blue team talks about their defense for it in a totally different way, well, you're right back where you started. You can't have any ambiguity.
And this is where something absolutely brilliant comes in. Frameworks like MITRE ATT&CK provide that universal dictionary. Think of it like a giant, globally recognized encyclopedia of every bad guy tactic and technique you can imagine, where each one has its own unique code.
So with this framework, the whole process becomes incredibly structured. The red team can say, okay, today we are going to simulate technique T1059.001. Then the blue team knows to build and tune a detection specifically for T1059.001, and then, together, they run the test and see, did it work? Did the alert fire? It's clean, it's precise, and it's totally measurable. No more guesswork.
All right, so that's the how. Let's get to the so what. Let's talk about the results and see how this collaboration builds a defense system that's just smarter and way more resilient over time.
What you get is this amazing continuous feedback loop. The red team emulates an attack. Both teams are watching the data, the logs, the telemetry, all in real time. Together, they validate. Did the detection fire? Was it good enough? And if it wasn't, or if it could be better, they collaborate to improve it right then and there, before they repeat the whole process.
And when you put the old way and the new way side by side like this, the difference is just night and day. With traditional testing, the feedback might take weeks to show up in some static report. With purple teaming, it's happening in real time. The outcome isn't just a long list of problems, it's a set of proven, validated defenses, and the learning. It becomes cumulative, building on itself, instead of being all fragmented and disconnected.
This fundamentally transforms security from being a series of isolated events, like an annual pen test, into a living, breathing, data-driven practice. It's a system that is constantly adapting and constantly getting better.
You can actually see the evolution of security testing laid out right here. We started with these slow, once-a-year audits. Then things got a little faster with more regular red team projects. But the real destination, the modern approach, is this state of continuous validation and improvement that purple teaming finally makes possible.
And this really leaves us with one last big question to think about. Is your security program just finding flaws? Is it just being tested? Or is it building a system that measurably learns and truly adapts from every single challenge it faces? Because let's be honest, in today's world, that's the only game worth playing.